All right, what's up, guys? It's Justin Kahn back with another Fractal Radio, where we explore the best Web3 games out there on the blockchain. And today I'm joined by Edric, Dominic, and Mason from the Neopets team. Welcome, guys.
Hey, Justin. Very excited to be here.
Amazing. So Neopets, Neopets has been around for a while. Tell me the story about how you guys have been, how you started working on this, and how it's being refreshed for Web3.
Yeah, definitely. So, as you may know, Neopets has been quite a legendary brand. Back in the days, we had like a huge community of more than 150 million users across the globe. And then we've been always trying to see how we can revitalize this IP and really bring it to the kind of Web3 experience. And last year, to be honest, we were pitched ideas by many third parties who wanted to kind of like license our IP and build this into the metaverse. And then we've had a lot of internal discussions among the senior board members, and in the end, we decided to kind of like do this ourselves. And this is kind of like a new project and kind of like the first foray into the blockchain world for us. And it's kind of like an internal incubation project. So we're super excited that we can bring this brand to the metaverse.
That's exciting. That's really cool. I love that you're doing it yourselves. And tell me about your guys' backgrounds and how you guys came to be working on it.
Yeah, sure. So I actually joined this company more for looking at blockchain opportunities for the education space, to be honest. And my previous background was actually in consulting and banking, and then I moved to private equity. And then I did my own startup in the entertainment and kind of a platform business. So it's kind of like F&B tech, communication tech type of businesses. I exited my previous startup, and I was like, okay, what should I do next? And then I kind of like looked into education, and actually the Neopets IP is owned by an education kind of like gaming company, and the mother company is called NetDragon, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, I'm Edric. My whole career is working on the entertainment stuff, starting with some traditional MMORPGs, and then working on some CG movies, do my own mobile game startup, and also joining the AR and VR stuff. And yeah, typically I'm working on tips of games and enjoy this project. I look excited to working on a new project. Yeah.
Hi, so my name is Mason, and yeah, I've been working previously in the marketing and consulting as well. Most recently for a CG content agency. So yeah, prior to joining NetDragon, working on the education side of things, yeah, I got on board into Neopets, so very excited to work on this together.
Awesome. So tell me about the new Neopets game that you guys are creating.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, when I was young, I've been playing Neopets all the time, and I'm very excited to kind of like how we're translating this kind of a classic game and using the original lore and bringing it into the metaverse. So at the core, it's still a lot about the social simulation and also kind of like raising and customizing your virtual pet. Although Neopet is not really like just a pet itself, it's also like a magical and like a creature that lives in Neopia. And then at the core of the game is really about like taking care of it, customization. Like you can like put on like a lot of different wearables and like expressing your self identity through your Neopets. And then we're actually bringing back the Neohome concept to be at the core of this game, where you do a lot of the interaction with your Neopets. It's inside your Neohome where you can decorate and also introducing a lot more social activities to be brought into into the game. So in the original game, there's a lot of like social elements already, where there are like many communities are formed based on interests, and there's like a lot of like kind of like social interaction on the Neo boards, which is like the in-game forum. But these are kind of like back in the days when the game was first launched, prior to any of these like social media giants that we're seeing nowadays. It's kind of really the first form of metaverse that we're seeing, and we're trying to kind of like leverage on that successful gameplay or kind of like the original success of the game to really hope to build that up in the metaverse space. And apart from the social elements and the core kind of like pet caring and customization, the next element is mainly kind of like you're going on quests and then exploring kind of like the free world of Neopia. So it's kind of like an MMO experience where you can play, interact with other players in the form of Neopets. And then there's also a battle elements The battle elements in the original game is where it happens in the Battledome. We're borrowing kind of like that lore back, that there will be kind of a PvP gameplay and also PvE gameplay, where some of the earning potentials would kick in that prospect. So that's kind of like the game in a nutshell.
Awesome. So it's pretty multifaceted game. Bring a lot of the original elements back. Sounds like you guys are doing the MMO open world. There's social spaces. There's battling. Kind of everything you'd expect from a refreshed Neopets. It's almost sounds like it's like a perfect game for Web3 in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to like. That's definitely our vision. So the original game has inspired like generations of like kind of like people introducing people to like Web 1 and Web 2 back then, especially like a generation of kind of like people who learn about coding and learning about like investing because of the in-game economies that we have. A lot of the users and players back then, they love to like stock up, kind of like resell the in-game like the in-game items, and they kind of stock up on the in-game tokens, and they can also generate a lot of interest from the bank, and also kind of like investing in stocks, like in-game stocks within Neopia. So there's a lot of like these interesting elements that we've seen in the past, and in the Web3 space, it's like perfect. That's all what GameFi is about. And then we see a lot of synergies of really bringing that type of community and bringing back that kind of like nostalgic factor. And we invite these kind of like past users to rejoin us in the metaverse.
I love it. So how will the blockchain components work? I mean, I have an idea and I could probably guess, but like I'd love to. I want to hear it from you. How would the blockchain parts work in the new game?
Yeah, I think there's two big part of it for the blockchain element. So the first part is actually how the community can own a piece of the game and really build with us in the future, kind of like on the extension of the metaverse. So that's kind of like the ownership part. And the second part is the earning potential, where players could be rewarded with their skills, with their time, and with their gameplay, kind of like during the play. So the ownership part, we really want like from traditional kind of like Web 2 model, or like the mobile games that we're seeing these days. It's a very centralized model where gamers, it's very hard for gamers to participate in the decision or in any of the voting mechanism of how the game would turn out. We'd love to kind of like really build out like a very community driven game development. So a lot of those, for example, like they can decide on which how the plot would develop, which lands they will see next, or what type of collaboration that we will do, like beyond kind of like the original Neopets experience. So all these we would love to kind of like be building in public, get the community involved, and really kind of get our like most loyal fans to come back and help us like work this out. And on the earning part, I guess it's very similar to a lot of the play and earn games out there. But I think one thing that we love to differentiate ourselves is we're really focusing on building a fun game. So fun is probably like the entertainment value of the game is probably the primary incentive for these gamers to come back. And really the earning is more like a secondary incentive to give an extra kind of a taste of what blockchain game could be about.
Yeah, people who watch the show know I've said this many times, but I think we've pivoted to games that are like the first wave of blockchain games are games where people are kind of primarily playing them because of for economic reasons, but that's not sustainable. And I think people want to play games for fun, and the next wave is going to be games that are primarily fun. And maybe there's like an afterthought that there's like a little bit of an economic incentive or you own your assets, but that's not the main reason why people will play games. So I'm curious about like the creative direction you guys are taking, refreshing an older franchise. Like tell me some things that are new about what you're doing here.
Sure, maybe I can start a little bit, and then I'll let Edric and Mason to chime in on that. So I think the most obvious distinctive factor about Neopets Metaverse is that all the Neopets will become kind of like a 3D animated characters, and the whole world of the Neopia will become kind of like open world MMO type of game So the original game is more kind of like it's a little bit dated. It's like it's just very adorable, but it's like a click-based game. So in the open world of Neopets Metaverse, is a lot more kind of like an MMO experience. You can freely explore, and the pets are still adorable, but they're in like a 3D animated format. So we're hoping to kind of like build something that a lot of our players has probably hoped for and dreamed of in the past, but now we're making it a reality.
Yeah, and I do think the style changed a lot, and we're working on the 3D style and enable us to connect the virtual world in the real world. We are the virtual world. Like what I mentioned, the AR or VR technology is what the metaverse about. And then we are trying to of course we can happen in short, maybe in the roadmap we can further extend on that.
Yeah, and yeah, because we believe in this notion and we actively take in a lot of feedback and listen to our current community. So it's an amazingly vibrant and responsive community. When we recently released our 3D visuals for the game just beginning 2 months ago, like not only do they love the visuals, but they're also very quick to mention certain parts that can be tweaked here and there. So we're very excited about about this, and essentially helping us in this process of developing the game and the metaverse. Yeah, so we're very excited about where this project will take our community and us along with it.
Awesome. Sounds like it's really the community is you're planning on having them drive a lot of the future direction of the game and where you guys end up going.
Yeah, definitely. I think
Yeah,
that's the
as
way for Web3.
Awesome. So tell us about the mint. The mint is coming up, and I mean, surprise and awesome news. It's a free mint. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a free mint that we'll love to celebrate with our supporters. Basically, we'll be releasing our game trailer on May 22nd, and then kind of like coinciding with the Crypto Pizza Day. So we're actually doing a free mint of pizza NFTs. And pizza has always been one of the staples items in the original Neopets game. So the whole theme is kind of like, okay, just celebrate with us, come join us in the metaverse, grab a free pizza and watch a game trailer. So hopefully that would be an exciting event, and also like a fractal users would also get like a whitelist tokens. So feel free to join us.
Amazing. All right. So free pizza for everybody. It's a pizza party.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any more upcoming collections that you want to talk about? I assume the pets are going to be an NFT.
Yeah, so we did release a previous collection in November of last year. So that's kind of like our OG collection that we have released out there. We'll definitely have more kind of collections coming up, so stay tuned.
Awesome. And the game trailer is coming out on the 22nd. That's just a few days from now. What tell us what else like what else is on the roadmap for the rest of this year?
Yeah, sure. It's going to be a very exciting year for us. So we're releasing our light paper in June, and then we're also releasing kind of like a short kind of mini game demo later this year as well. And in terms of the alpha private launch, we're doing it in end of August, where we'll have a part of the Neopia built out. So we're starting with one of the major key venues, which is the Neopia Central, and you'll see a lot of the classic buildings modernized in the metaverse, and that's where we'll start the alpha. And then the whole kind of roadmap for Neopets Metaverse is basically we're planning to build out the whole of Neopets. So in the original game, there are more than 18 unique maps, and each map contains like its own like a Neopet species and also like a special lores that tie to that map. So we're planning to do that on a quarterly release basis. So every quarter we'll have like a in-game tournament to kind of conclude the season. But after the end of the tournament, we'll be introducing kind of like a new land and full update to the game rules and kind of like new gameplay and game features and also kind of like updates to kind of the tournament for that season. So each season is a quarter. So the fully built out metaverse would take us 3 to 4 years to build it out. And that's kind of like the main development roadmap for us. And for the alpha, we're starting with a browser-based desktop game. And then after that, we'll slowly introduce the desktop like versions for both like Mac and PC. And then we're also kind of like in the pipeline, definitely doing our mobile apps because like Neopets Metaverse has always been a casual game where we want our players to really check in and come play for free. So it's always going to be a free to play game, and users can come and check in on their pets and interact with their Neopets, and that's kind of what we're trying to build. And I believe that like a mobile app would reduce the barrier and make it easier for a lot more people to join us.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys have sounds like you have it all planned out for years. That's incredible. And that there's going to be a lot of content coming.
Yeah, but there are a lot of ways for the community to be involved because like this is kind of like the broad direction, but there are a lot of finer details, what lore to bring in, like how the plot would play out. So all these like yeah, we would love to get as much feedback and input from the community as possible.
Amazing. Well, cool. Is there anything I haven't covered that we should talk about?
Uh, I think no, I think would love to kind of like emphasize the point that this is like a free to play game. I think that's very core to our value of the exist of our original game as well. So we won't require any users to like buy any NFTs before before they can join a game, and even without any NFT purchase or token purchase. Users can be able to play the game for a long time and just enjoy the game for free and for fun.
That's awesome. So, like a lot of NFT games have shifted to this model where people are but paying up front again for oftentimes a really expensive NFT to play the game, and you guys are building free to play, which is much more in line with how existing players want to play games, right? Like in kind of the modern world, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think our vision is really to like being able to be maybe one of the players to be the propeller of really attracting mainstream gamers to come on board into blockchain gaming and really educating about what's new and what's exciting about Web3 and kind of being one of those company to be a leader in this space. And also hopefully we can cross the chasm from like early adoption to main adoption for this whole blockchain gaming like movement.
Yeah, somebody's gonna onboard the next 100 million users into crypto, and it's gonna be from a game, I think. And I mean, you've already had hundreds of millions of people interact with Neopets, so it could, I think as with the right free to play game, the right casual game, like it could certainly be you guys. That'd be awesome.
Yep, so we're definitely working hard to work like that.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I can't wait to see the mint, get my own slice of free pizza, or do I get a whole pizza? I don't know. And we'll see you guys on Sunday for the mint and the trailer release.
Yeah, definitely. We'll send you a whole pizza for sure.